What's up, guys? Tom Matthew here for PhilAndTomPlus.com, and welcome to the number one Phil and Tom podcast in the world. I am here with this podcast number 3, and I am here with Phil.
How are you going, everybody?
And I am here with Janine.
Evening, everybody.
And we're actually going to start the timer. We are meant to start this at 7 o'clock, but I couldn't because I had to read the thing Dad gave me today because I forgot to read it. So I had to read it out today because you said you wanted to talk about that. You forgot about that, though, didn't you?
I did.
You did.
What did you have to look at?
You had to give me. You gave me the I think it was the Platinum newsletter or something.
Oh.
And I had to read that. So that's what I was just doing then.
Did you read it?
I did just then.
You mean you read it?
No, I read it.
Oh, did you?
I didn't read the whole thing. I read the story with Matt Bassick and Dagan Smith. That's what I read.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to be going for 20 minutes here. 20 to 25 minutes. Something like that. And
Isn't that dependent on Flapper?
pretty much, yeah. And because there's something we're actually discussing this week, like we've actually got a pre-ready topic, which is the Platinum newsletter, and there's a story involved. I'm assuming Mr. Flapper is going to flap a long time.
Well, I was curious. The story is that...
Are you sorry, Mum's hands are up right now. Are your hands up because you didn't get to read the thing?
I didn't get the memo about the newsletter.
Well,
communication
you can just
is
chime
just...
in. You can just chime in. Anyway,
Communication is wonderful.
go ahead.
Well, in the newsletter that we pay good money for, there was an interview with this guy, Dagan Smith, who's been involved in the internet marketing industry and, I don't know, purportedly multimillionaire, let's say. And he was interviewing another multimillionaire called Matt Bassick. So Dagan Smith was interviewing Matt Bassick, and Matt Bassick is a guy who, I don't know, he set a goal to become a millionaire by the time he was, I don't know, it was 26 or 27.
Dad, pay attention.
27, something like that. And it turned out that Matt had a, his upbringing, he basically, he was talking about how important your associations are. And he went through a series of steps of how he put together his $1 million business. But it was more so about this association and how he had to, or he felt he had to, separate himself from anybody that was going to, get down on him. So the headspace issue was a big thing. This entrepreneur's headspace at a young age, mind you.
He said that he went through his phone and he deleted all the contacts of the people who were negative to him, including his mum. And he was like best friends with his mum. And he said, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to call you. He didn't say I'm not going to talk to you. He said, I'm not going to call you until I make $1 million.
And he also had a fair relatability because he was pretty successful at sport, and I think it was boxing
And wrestling.
And he was asking himself the question, why isn't it that I sort of get sport and I play full ball, but when it comes to business, I'm a bit all over the place.
He said I'm a loser.
Well, initially he said he was a loser. And so what he learned to do was he played a game. He made business a game for himself, and and so it was a competition. The business side of things become a competition. So I think that's interesting. There's two things: headspace and just looking at the way you think about things. And he in his situation, he understood sport. He understood how to win at games, and he turned business into a game. I think that's an interesting thing. Later on, though, and I didn't actually finish the whole article, but
You lazy pig.
But I thought what I thought was incongruent, and we'll sort of lead into something else here. But it was incongruent. He talked about about a year ago, he needed to.
I saw your note.
Get $250,000, and he thought, well, with all my experience, no worries, and he did. I didn't read the rest of the article, so I don't know how he got that. But I'm thinking, well, you shouldn't be in that situation anyway. You shouldn't be in a position where you should have that money should be in the bank, or it should be somewhere. You should be able to.
Well, we don't know his financial stuff. He could have all his money tied up in investments or something like that.
Well, the point is, the way he described it was, that he needed to sort of get this $250,000, and it doesn't make sense to me that he should have had some sort of a structure in place with all those millions of dollars that he's made. And so there's in my opinion, from what I see.
But aren't you missing the point that he said that he's not very good with business, so he turned that into a game, and he's probably learnt to manipulate the game to generate the income, but he's probably, at this stage, still learning what to do with the money once you make the money.
No, you might be right. You're probably right.
Because, I mean, how many people, there's trillions of stories out there, how many people have the ability to make the money? But the key after making the money is you've got to keep the money. You've got to know what to do with the money. You've got to know how to use the money. And that comes down to back to the basics of the goal and what you want to do with it. Because if you haven't got the goal set, this money will come in, and what will you do? You'll just spend it, and it becomes just frivolous.
Well, I think of the words financial intelligence. Robert Kiyosaki's taught, in basic terms about this financial intelligence. And so for me, I think about putting structures in place that, or the way that I've been educated. And you've got to remember that I'm 54 and got to the age of 35 and didn't really have any financial education. But then I did sort of work out that, if you can put a structure in place where, you can have money coming to you from your assets, that's a nice thing. And so what that idea is about is you get basically to January 1, and the question is, well, how much money am I going to be making this year while I sleep? So there's money coming in or growing independently of your activity, that type of thing. And I always like that Robert Kiyosaki definition of wealth. He said, wealth is, the amount of days you can survive from this day forward without having to depend on day-to-day work. That was sort of along those lines. He talked about that. And he said most people can't survive, a week, a month, certainly not 3 months. And so wealth is measured in time and not money.
Yep.
And so that leads back into that statement there. Here's this guy. It's like, well, what did you need $250,000 for? I mean, I don't know. Did he go into tell that story? You just read it.
No.
No, he didn't. All right. No. Any other comments?
Yeah, well, I liked reading that story because I thought, to me, I can relate to that story in multiple ways. First off, he said from a young age he was thinking about being a millionaire. His parents were in network marketing, same as me, but on both of those accounts. He said, how can I be good at sports or whatever and be a loser in business? I feel like it's the same as me because I'm awesome at sports, even when I played footy. And Dagan Smith but both of them went through it. How they're at the gym, they're doing this extra work. I remember when I was out there and I was at 12, this is maybe after the boxing, went to the boxing gym. I was out there every day for like half an hour. I was doing the speedball, I was doing push-ups, I was skipping. Nobody told me to do that, but I was doing extra work. And then you come into business and it's not happening. And the other thing I think about is he said, they also talked about, and this is one thing that kind of, I don't think I've got until now. I think some personal development, quotation marks, it doesn't have much, some of it doesn't have a lot of substance. I think like there's this guy on YouTube, his name's E.T., and he's got a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, but it's all about grinding. It's all about working hard. You just got to work. The person who works the hardest wins, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't think I believe that. I don't believe that, based off what I've read and what I've learned. And then there's also another speech that I've heard. It's a really pump-up speech. It's really good. It's by Art Williams. It's called Just Do It. And he pretty much goes through all this thing for like 3 minutes. He just says, you want to say yes, just do it. Oh, it's not, the market's not good, just do it anyway. Let's just do it, just do it, just do it. And when I listen to that, I'm thinking, and this is what they're talking about, when they say, how they always say, you just got to put action in, you got to put action in. And I'm like, there's not much substance to that, because people want to put action in, but they get stopped. And one of the things he was talking about in there on that thing was not only putting action in, but he was talking about fear. And this is something that I've done a couple of videos on it. I'm thinking, okay, why would people not put action in? For example, I go out there when I'm a little kid and I'm putting extra work in. Why would I do that? I don't
Because
know.
you have a natural affinity towards
Well, I
it.
don't know why I did that. But that's putting extra effort in, that's working hard. Now when you come over to this and they're saying just do it and just put action in, and you don't do it, why is that? And I think, this is what I think based off my progression, I think it's fear.
It is.
I think it's fear and it's not fear, I think it's really subtle. That's why you can't see it. Because if people would see it, like I couldn't see it, and now I think I could see it. People can't see it because it's subtle. It's not like a big scary thing. Like if I saw a spider up there, I'd run away like a little girl.
Yes, we know that.
Right? It's not a fear like that. It's really hard to see. It's not in your face. It's a fear as if you come up with an idea.
You're
You always
not
come up with
worthy.
ideas. No, it's not that. Sorry, just to shun you off there. You come up with an idea, for example, and you go, "Oh, this is a great." In your head, you're thinking, "This is a great idea. I'm going to do this." And then this is the fear kicking in. You'll say, "That's a stupid idea. Nobody will like that." And it's something like that. And you say, I can't do that because I don't have that." And that, I think, this is what I'm going through. That's the fear, and it comes through with the perfection thing as well. You're scared of making mistakes, and it's not that out like in your face fear. It's just subtle. So I'm out here today. In fact, when I was building the product the other day, I was in there, I can't remember, and I was doing the product, and I was just going with this attitude: just do it, just do it, just do it. Don't worry about imperfections. Don't let the fear stop you. And I did it. And yet then I stopped because I'm like, you know what, I've got to do this again. This is after I finish, I've got to do it again. And you don't have to. Anyway, I was out here today doing what Mum wanted me to do. I was recording this stupid... There was a stupid story video
It's
that I don't want to do.
voiceover.
There's a stupid story video that I don't want to do. Anyway, I'm doing it, and because I really just don't want to do it, I just want to get it out of the way. I'm sitting there and I'm reading it and I'm making mistakes because it's the first time I've read it, and since I wrote it, whatever.
Wrote.
And anyway, I stumble my words, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, where the hell do I start now? And it's like five seconds of silence. And when you're silent on a video or a recording, it feels like 15 seconds, and you just feel like, what the hell?
Yes, is that...
Anyway,
You
I
strap
find
your
where
dummy?
I find where I'm going again. I just kept going. No, this is when I was in my room, not out here.
Oh.
Anyway, I forget my point. My point is that
You're talking about fear, linking it to
I
perfectionism.
can relate to exactly what they're saying with first of all, his parents were in network marketing. He wanted to be a millionaire really early. He said he wanted to be a millionaire. He first thought of it when he was 12. I was 14 when you gave me that CD. He wanted to be a millionaire by the time he was 27. I said 25. And then he's talking about the doing good at sports but not in business. And then he's talking about the just doing, and he was just talking about their just doing and fear stopping you. He's talking about it all, exactly the same.
So you found that a relatable type story?
Extremely relatable. I've never, because we're in a unique position, there's all these stories, Mark Hoverson, all of them, anybody, they're always like, they always suck at the start. They're always like down in the dumps at the start, or they're broke and they got kids and they can't feed their kids, or they got cancer or something like that.
No,
And I'm coming
we're
from
going over the top.
No, seriously. And then I'm coming from a place of
Advantage.
my parents are paying for everything. They were in network marketing. They always talked about money and financial independence and all this kind of crap. And now they're putting all this money in the business. So there's no relatable story to me.
There's an advantage.
There is, and there was no relatable story to me.
Yeah.
But
Well,
now with this story, I can relate to that because
Right.
everything is relatable in that story.
Well, I can remember, when we used to be in the network marketing game, the guy that guided us in the very early days, he said, we built the business with money. He said, because we didn't have a hard luck story.
Yeah.
We were just young people
Yeah.
building business. And he says, so it's the thing I like about all that is, you know what, all things are true. So it's true that you can build the business with advantage, and it's true you can build the business with disadvantage. At the end of the day, it takes what?
Effort, I don't know.
A decision. People
Yeah.
have to decide that, for for whatever their reasons are, that's what they want to do.
Now let me ask you this. The other thing they talked about was, and I struggle with this. Well, I don't struggle with it. I'm learning about it. There's a difference between working hard and working smart. Now I'm on the side of working smart person. I like working smart. It just sounds. I mean, what's the point of working hard if you're working at something that's not going to get you anywhere? Like if you, and I can relate to this story as if you're in the gym, and I always hear this story. They're in the gym for 4 or 5 hours. That's, to me, it depends on what you're doing, of course. But if you're in the gym 4 or 5 hours and you're trying to get big, that's really stupid. You need to rest. If you keep going, you're going to ruin your muscle. You're not going to grow. So there's a work hard, work smart thing. But anyway, they're talking about in there. Anyway, here's my question. I work on the videos. I do the podcast, which is nothing, right? And I'm trying to improve the videos and get the videos better. But let's say I worked from 9 to 5. Let's just say that.
Like a job.
Yeah. What else, and I want to qualify this, what else would I work on? And I want to qualify it by saying I want to stay focused, because I don't want to get knocked off the ball, because that ruins the consistency. And I want to work on something that's actually, well, that's not a good point. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I've always thought, I hear these, the conundrums of, you've got to work hard and, you've got to work smart. Look, in the end, I can remember, when I was in the network marketing thing, that I used to come up with these things with the guy that was teaching me, who'd been around the block. And he said, well, sometimes he said, in the end, you've got to do both. Because I said, what do I do? What do I do? Do I do this or do I do that? And he goes, you do it both. It's like that. And I thought, so that was a good answer. And he says, and he used to say, sometimes it's good to learn to get out of balance, and then once you're out of balance because you're working so hard, maybe, then you can respect, what balance is. And so I believe the truth is in the balance. It's in breathing. You can't, and I know I come back to this simple analogy because it always makes sense to me that you got to breathe in and you got to breathe out. If you try to do one without the other,
I just want you to know.
Survive.
I hate that analogy. I just want you to know that. It's like when Pop used to say to you, just nut it out.
Just nut it
out.
Yeah.
Breathe in and out. I hate that.
So when he dies, you'll be able to say,
even though you hate it, there's still a good amount of truth in it. That look, we do need to do some work, but we want to work smart. So what does that mean? It means, what that means to me is pick a niche, pick a business model, build a business online. That's
okay. Let's do a live lesson here. You help me. I'm doing the videos. I can do that easy. Yes, Wednesday. I'm at the point now where I don't even need to think. Yesterday I went out there and it's like, okay, I've got to do a video now. And I want to get it over by 1 o'clock because I want to have some lunch. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So I went out there and I had Coco there. I wanted Coco there. I was about to film a video and I didn't know what I was going to do it on. So I just said, Mum, what should I do a video on? She said, getting started. I said, okay. And bang, 2 minutes later, I got a video, went in there, got it on the computer, edited it, rendered it, did the thumbnail, bang, it's up within an hour and a half. Something like that. So I don't have to think about that. That is piss. That is a joke. My question would be, what else is there to work on?
Okay. Now we've both got ideas. To be congruent with the video marketing, what I would like to cross off or address is the idea of people who get leads from videos and how they get leads from videos and who those people actually are, and being able to do the research and drill in and do the study and find out what the stuff they do. Now you might already be doing that, but I would like to cross that off and tick that box and come up with a series of things. So we either know what they're doing or we don't know what they're doing. At the minute, I think we sort of know what they're doing, but we might not know everything that they're doing. And so you've been talking about improving the quality of the videos. We've been doing that. So I would be looking at research in terms of what do we need to do to get leads off videos? Are we doing everything we need to do, or are we not? So that's my idea of one of the things that I would do. Now we might have a meeting and we've done that and we don't really need to go any further. So then once we cross that off, then we go to the next step. And what would you say?
I would say that what you do is, you're basically producing the video, and you're, I don't know, whatever film term it is, that you actually get it to YouTube. So part of our whole strategy in building the business is video marketing. So video marketing is not necessarily, even though YouTube is the major focus of it, video marketing is not just putting a video onto YouTube. Video marketing is about distribution.
Now, I just want to ask you a question. Why would I have to worry about that when I got you for that?
No, well, there's certain there's certain things like the distribution side of things, right? That I'm only doing this really basic type of distribution with the videos.
Or it's working because we're getting views.
Yes, I know it's working, but there's, as you like your dad said, with research, right? So I would say to you, if for your research, right, I would say to you straight away, can you go and find out for me, with all the stuff that I'm reading, why is everyone saying to me, start thinking about not using YouTube, but using Wistia? Why are they telling us that? So I'm saying to you, they're all saying, definitely put your videos up on YouTube. They're not saying not use YouTube, because you'd be a fool not to use YouTube. They're saying, but your starting point should be Wistia. I think I know the answer.
Now, who said that?
James Schrenko, right? And a lot of it's to do with SEO as well, which you're not into. James Schrenko, Todd Gross, Andy Murray. I hate it when you ask me for names.
Can I just ask you a question? With Wistia, I know that I might have got that wrong. But why can't we put our videos on Wistia now? Or we can?
Well, Wistia...
I don't even know what Wistia is.
Wistia is basically what it is. It becomes the distribution point for your videos. So you take it from Wistia, you put it to YouTube, then you can put it to Google, you can put it to Facebook, but there's plenty of other actual video sites that are actually specific to videos.
Are you saying Wistia should be the first point?
Yeah.
It should not be. Of my experience, it should not be, because YouTube does not like duplicate. I can't say the word.
Duplicate.
That word. It doesn't like that content.
How can it be duplicated content if you're only posting it to YouTube once?
I don't know, but that's what I've heard.
Anyway, that could be another longer conversation.
Anyhow, so back to that.
How long have we got?
As long as we want that, it's our podcast.
So what I'm saying is that when you say video, what I'm saying is, for you to fill in your day, if you take video and then add that word to it, video marketing, you will fill in your day with research and what you find things to do. Now, if that doesn't float your boat, then I would be looking at putting together, like you said, you can go out there and you did that video, is putting together these, like how you, like for example, I got my SlideShare stats tonight. We got 185 views this week for split testing a lead page. So obviously that appeals to somebody out there.
Who made that video?
You did.
Oh, did I make that video? I didn't know.
So if you put together...
I did know it was me.
Yeah, but if you put together, like you've talked about it, how many of those little videos could you put together dealing with the basics?
Yeah, and how many videos of those could you put together with WordPress one? Because you have shied away from those, haven't you?
Well, if you... well, I don't know how to do a video.
Yes, well, we have thought about that.
Look,
we have thought about that.
Long story short, I believe where we're at now, evolution, is that you could spend your time. We could have a meeting, and what we need to do, and we've already talked about it, and we're already doing it in a sense, is just build some products.
Yeah. Well, long story short, okay, because you don't know what that actually means, is one, we've been going for 24 minutes, and two, I have thought about this before, and I just forgot it, and that's exactly what you just said, is the building the products, which is what I was doing the other day.
Right. So we're
And not only that, and also, and I might need your help with this, with PowerPoints, is webinars. Webinars, because if we're getting a trickle of leads or whatever, right, and
which we are,
and we're building that up, we should be doing that now. And when I say now, I mean for me personally, but using the attitude of just do it, forget perfection, let's go.
in terms of
And
webinars.
if you
In terms of
follow,
webinars, so on Saturday
and if
we
you-
do a webinar.
Well, we put that on the table last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was asking you, can you put me on the webinar because I just want to stuff it up, basically. And
and
I
if you
wasn't.
follow the Terry Lamb thing, that'll fit right into
Terry Lamb thing.
Terry Lamb. You put up your 2-minute introduction video, telling people that you're going to have a webinar, or go into the website and you go to the website.
Well, that's a progression. Let's get the webinars up first.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's we've been waffling on here for a while, and really people have sort of been able to listen to us talk about, I guess, just what we're doing, and part of it's just. No, I could go on and on and on. Maybe it's for next week, but what we're talking about is what we're learning.
Yeah.
And what we're learning is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We learn, we do, and we teach.
Yeah. And what I like is this podcast. First of all, I'd like to get more humour in the podcast. You guys have to lift your game, especially look at your face.
No,
but
when you say that, I'm the one with the big jokes.
Oh no!
Oh,
No!
No,
That is banned.
No,
That
I want
is
to say
banned.
all
She's
the
not
people
having
on the
that.
podcast.
No.
Tom shoots
Switch
his little
off
arrow.
now.
He shoots his little
Switch
arrow
off
at the
now.
table. He thinks he's pretty smart.
You don't want
But
to
I'm the
hear
one
it.
that's got all the big jokes.
Oh,
And
just
so,
tell it and get
as
it
I
over with.
leave this podcast, the question you've got to ask yourself, Will, is what is the richest country in the world? What is the richest
And
country in the
stay
world?
tuned next week. You'll get the answer.
So I want
Because
you
it's
to
not
come
that
back next
funny.
week. What is the richest country in the world? We're not going to wait till next week because the world could end tonight. But the richest country in the world is Ireland. And now that's got me on my Irish accent now. And the way it's
Phil, that's
Ireland is because its capital is always Dublin.
Oh.
Okay, there it is.
It's
Its
not
capital
funny.
is always
It's
Dublin.
not
Right?
funny.
So there it is. There, you take that away and you can use that
It's
forever.
going to be the
that's
lamest
one of the
joke
big
I've
jokes.
ever
It
heard.
is. It is.
Good
Now,
night, everyone.
I haven't done the outro.
Oh, sorry.
Stop rushing me here. Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to say about this call, besides getting more humour into the
See,
podcast,
you're to blame.
is well, good. That'll be funny because it was so bad. Is this? I haven't seen this anywhere else. I'm not talking about podcasts. I listened to a podcast the other day, but I haven't seen this where it's somebody learning on the spot.
Right.
I haven't seen that before. So in the comments, tell us in the comment section below if you're digging the content. If you have any subjects you want us to cover in a video or webinar or on the podcast, let us know below. And that's it. We've been going for about half an hour now, and we'll see you next week on the next podcast.
Oh, and check out the new website.
Yeah.
Thank
new
you.
website. See you later, guys.
Bye.